Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here, for being subscribed if you are. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube while you're at it, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. So let's get into this conversation/reality chat. All right, guys. Martell Holt, there's just no lines when it comes to this guy and the lengths that he will go to try to stay in Melody's existence, stay in her realm of relevancy, and he has absolutely no relevance. And I wanted to talk about this because I watched the most recent episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville recently, and honestly, it was pretty much not much to speak about. But the Scotts, mainly Letitia and Marceau, they're having this Black Business Expo, or like she says, Expo. The X pronunciation is just not really there, and it's one of those things for me. It's a little bit annoying. I know some people, they have speech impediments, and I give people grace for that. But it's just hard for me to hear someone that isn't pronouncing the words appropriately. And when I hear her say Expo instead of Expo, I just want to say X, 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 X. Anyway, she is telling the people who are there, which is Maurice, Kimmy, Hotel, birth name Martell. And ironically, I'm just going to mention this. Martell is named after a liquor. And some of you may have already known that, but I'm not a connoisseur of all of the alcohol and liquor brands that are out there. But if you type in Martell, a liquor bottle pops up. Okay. So I just wanted to mention that. Anyway, he is trying to insert himself into something that really has nothing to do with him, because Letitia made it known to the rest of the people there that Melody decided to bow out, that she's not going to participate. And he wanted to make it about him. He starts out by saying, I just don't understand why. I get it. Me and Melody, we have our stuff going on with the courts and all that other stuff. Well, first of all, it's his fault. He started it, and she responded and chose to finish out the matter, which may not be finished out for him necessarily. And that may be in terms of criminal and not family court or even civil court, because he may be going to jail. So with that, he wanted to state that he is willing to put aside differences for the state of being supportive of the community. But it's like the only thing that you've supported the community with is being community peen, because he's been willing to spread it around to the community that is willing to receive it. What business does he really have? What does he really have to showcase at a Black Business Expo? Like, really? Because he's not a successful businessman. He has not been able to pass the builder's license exam. Allegedly, he still has not been able to do it. I don't know how many other attempts that he's actually made at doing so, but he hasn't. He had the children's book, which I felt like wasn't a real legitimate business. He said it was something that he wanted to do for the kids. So I get it. There are a lot of people who write books and they just use it as something that they have on their resume. It's not like they're trying to become a New York Times bestselling author or even trying to sell tons and tons of books, because we absolutely know that he has not done that. We know it. We know that. He had his calendars. He was doing that photo shoot. One of the seasons that Destiny was on there, and had her bring over some stuff to be at this photo shoot where he was taking pictures in a bathtub, and it was just really ridiculous. I guess he was trying to give off a sexy theme, and I don't know how many calendars he sold. I don't even know who's still buying calendars. Most people use the calendars that are on their iPhones. or on, whatever device that they're using. Most people are using digital calendars these days. So how 1990s of you to be making a calendar. We get it. People have done the calendars for the sexy firefighters or even the swimsuit models or whatever, and they do it for charity. So most people are just really buying it for the images and not for the calendar. But even with that, it was people doing it for charity. It wasn't so much people doing it to make money. So that was an asinine business to begin with in the first place. You know, just do an OnlyFans account, because I'm quite sure that there's some desperate chicks that are willing to spend $5.99 a month, and definitely probably some guys who swing for that team that would love to see Hotel bending over, doing tricks for the camera or whatever he chose to do on on his OnlyFans account for $5.99 a month. Now, I don't know if they would do it if he were to charge $6.99 or above, but I'm just saying, who's buying calendars of him? Period. The Inest or Inest wine, it was really ridiculous. It got a lot of horrible reviews. Yes, some of it was probably people who never even tried it, who really don't see it for Hotel. And I can't blame them. I just don't spend my time going to leave negative reviews on anybody's stuff. Even if I've had a bad experience, I just don't do it. But for those who had the time to do it, I understand. I get it. But I heard that the production for that has been put on hold, and he probably doesn't have the money to press play and move forward when it comes to that. So that is not surprising. Going into a wine business because he said he likes sweet red wines, and there was a sweet red wine that he used to drink with Melody. Again, he tried to insert her into the narrative to try to play on the emotions and feelings of women, because that would be the target market. And he was off base from the beginning. That's why when he did that first go around of that tour of him trying to make it seem like he regrets his decisions and the choices that he made, which were all bad choices and bad decisions, and that he left his 85% for something that was far less than what he had, and he misses it. He didn't mean any of it. I mean, he knows that he misses what he had, and he knows that he screwed up and messed up what he had, but he wasn't being in a place of resentment. He's resentful, but he wasn't being in a place of repentance, I meant to say, in terms of trying to show women that he has now seen the error of his ways and he's woken up and it's too late for him to go back, but I can at least acknowledge the wrong that I have done. That was all just to play on the emotions of women, because I even did a conversation where I came out and discussed it, and I was like, is he waking up to the fact that he was a total douchebag this entire time, and now he's seeing the error of his ways and he's having some accountability moments at this point in time? No, it was about business. And I questioned it then. I said, is he really waking up, or is this just about business? And indeed it was. It was about him trying to salvage his name and his whatever brand that is for the sake of business. It was not anything that was real. And that's why it didn't work. And then with the suits, allegedly, based on some info that I heard on True T's YouTube channel, I'm going to put a link to her video in the description box as well. Allegedly, the suit partnership is not moving forward because they put a hold on that as well. So he's pretty much spiraling at this point. And when Melody was going off on, I won't even say going back and forth with, she was releasing what was pent up and built up for some time now. And the bird kept using her beak to poke and poke and poke. And finally, that balloon burst and Melody exploded. And that's what she did. Even if it wasn't a series, it wasn't her going back and forth, because she's not going back and forth with that bird. She was just releasing what already was all pent up within her in the first place. So Melody, it's alleged that she is seeking some repercussions for the actions of him and his tool, better known as Coleslaw, trying to humiliate her and use things against her that she has done with her then husband that he happens to have on video, and that he disseminated that information for other people to see without her permission. That is a crime. So she did a little Instagram video where she was saying, "You going to jail." And she played a clip of a viral video of a guy singing the same thing. And so I'm saying the dude is spiraling right now. On his most recent episode where he's talking about, "I'm willing to put aside my differences for the sake of the community," Melody didn't even speak that much about him. And even Letitia told him that. She said, "Well, because I could tell even Letitia was just like, I don't really want to get into that." So she even said, "Well, she didn't really speak that much about you, and she didn't really go into any details about that." But he still wanted to circle back to make it about him. He really cannot take the fact that there's nothing that she has for him, not even a lot of time to fuss about him, because he loved it when she used to do that. He loved when she would respond to him by saying, "Well, you was just trying to get back with me." I don't believe that Melody, when she was saying those things, was doing it to show in any way, shape, or form that she really wanted to be back with him. I just believe she was just trying to prove the point that you sitting here trying to call me someone who is like the people that you like to deal with, which are whores. You're trying to put me in that category by calling me that and saying that I've been with too many people for you to want to be with me again. But you were just telling me about how much you miss me and that you want to be with me. So she was just trying to prove a point. But it's always fruitless with somebody like him, because you can't prove points to a narcissist, period. They're never going to listen. They're never going to take accountability. They're never going to see it the way that it is, which is real. And so that was just a waste of her time. And that's why I believe Melody, when she went off on the bird, she was just saying, I don't want him to say it. She was like, for those of you wanting to say this is about a man, this is not about any man, because she can have him left, right, and sideways, from here, there, and everywhere. I don't want him, don't need him. I've been gave that up. And I know that pissed him off. I know that tore him up. He couldn't take it. So he's spiraling right now. He's been pretty silent for the most part. And I believe that he's trying to come up with a plan and a plot. So if it indeed comes to him receiving some charges, he's going to try to put it all off on the bird. And I just am not here for any of it. I really want to see them get their justice. I really want to see Melody get their justice, and their justice would be them getting some handcuffs on them and getting some charges, and not just getting the charges and getting them dropped, but getting those charges and getting some convictions, because the way that they both have been doing this woman is absolutely insane. And I'm just really not here for any of it. I am so disgusted with those two. And the fact that he just continues to spiral and he wants to make it all about Melody and Hotel, when she has drawn that line in the sand a long time ago, and to say that I'm never crossing that line ever again. I will never be in his camp. I don't care if we had 50 kids together. I want nothing to do with him, and he can't take it, because he is of that mindset that, well, we have these kids together, we'll forever be in each other's lives. And when she got that other phone and didn't give him her number, that ate him up so much, because he just really felt like that access that he feels he deserved to her always, because they have these children together, like he likes to say, the 4 beautiful children, is gone. So even though she was ordered to give him her number, if she had 2 phones, you better believe, like I said before, now she's got 3, because I know that he doesn't have all of her phone numbers. She'll never give him that type of power over her ever again, because the courts just fail to realize how dangerous this individual is, and that he doesn't deserve to have access to her at all. So I'm really hoping and believing and praying that they will get what they deserve, in the judicial system. And that by the time these kids get of age, not just 18, but of an age where they don't need to have, like the courts would see, the adults having access to each other. Because really at this point in time, it should be fine and dandy, but I get it. They still have the little baby and the child that is the, the second youngest. So I get that. I understand them not viewing those children as capable of picking up a phone and calling daddy, or daddy calling them on the phone directly. So, okay, fine. But once all of those children are of age, when they're at least in middle school, where they could deal with the phone themselves. Because I remember when my son was in middle school, we gave him a phone, and we did it because we were both working a distance away so that he would be able to contact us if needed. And that was back in the day when we had flip phones. So I'm showing my age. But anyway, we didn't have, what we have now, where we had all of that other stuff. That was a long time ago. But once he was in middle school, we gave him a phone so that he could access us if he needed to, because he was able to ride his bike to get to school on his own or walk to get to school. We lived a distance where he didn't need to catch the school bus, and we didn't drop him off because he wanted to get to school with his friends. So a cell phone was fine. I don't think that once all of the kids are in middle school, he should need to contact her about anything. He should be able to just contact the kids directly on their own for anything when it comes to just speaking with the children. He shouldn't have to have access to her at all. But shoot, we don't even know if that dude will be alive by this time, because I'm saying he's spiraling. He's dangerous. And I don't trust him. I don't trust him at all. I know she doesn't. And I know that because she has been married to this man for all those years, she tried to see him in a different light for a while. And that's why she even had the grace to invite him out on this vacation trip that she had last season to Destin, Florida. But no more grace and no more mercy for either of those two. She just doesn't have it to give anymore. And so I can't say I blame her at all. So anyway, guys, yeah, it looks like the business deals have flopped. And when you Google his name, unlike the others, like you Google Melody's name, it comes up underneath actress, producer, singer. You Google his name, it just shows his name. It just says Martell Holt. There's nothing underneath it. It doesn't even say star of Love and Marriage Huntsville. He's got nothing. He really is just a name on that brand. He doesn't even deserve to be on that. So we'll see what comes of that. I don't see this show lasting that much longer. I'm not hoping for the show to get canceled, because I know a lot of people say, well, the show just is on its last leg. It needs to be canceled. I think from an employer's perspective, and I know as an employer and I have employees, I often think about the employees and their families and how things would affect them if they were not to have their income. So I think about all of the people that are involved on the show who are working in front of the scenes and behind the scenes. It's not just about the Scotts and Melody and Hotel who are in front of the camera, and even the Whitlows and even Stormy and her husband. There's a whole lot more people who are working behind the scenes, and they have families to take care of and support as well. So they're depending on their checks, and I get that. But even with all those things being considered, the show may be on its last leg, as well as Melody probably is seeing the front door and is looking for her exit and doesn't want to be affiliated or associated with this anymore. And I can understand that. I really can, because it doesn't appear as if these people have been genuinely on her side, as well as the producer, Carlos. It just doesn't appear to be that way. So anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks so much for being here. Thank you for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.